Right now, there is a woman in your life who has already told you she is in love with you. She said it loud and clear and you missed it. You missed it because she never used a single word. She used something far more honest than language. She used her body, and by the end of this video you will never miss that signal again. Here is a fact that most men will go their entire lives without knowing. According to research published in the Journal of Nonverbal Behavior, over 93% of emotional communication happens without words. 93%. That means when a woman falls in love, her mouth is almost irrelevant. Her body is doing all the talking, and it is not subtle. It is screaming. The problem is most men are listening for words while her shoulders, her wrists, her neck, and yes, specific parts of her body are putting on a full Broadway performance that nobody in the audience understands. I am about to walk you through exactly which body parts woman exposes, reveals, or draws attention to when she has already crossed the line from interest into genuine love. And some of these are going to surprise you because they have nothing to do with what you think. This is not about cleavage or short skirts. This is about primal, subconscious, hardwired behavior that women cannot fake even if they tried. Some of these signals are so ancient they predate spoken language itself. And here is the part that should keep you watching. Number 5 on this list is one that almost no man recognizes, but once you see it you will realize a woman you know has been doing it for weeks, maybe months. So pay very close attention, because missing these signals does not just cost you a date. It could cost you the love of your life. Let me start with the one that catches men off guard the most. The neck, specifically the front and sides of her throat. When a woman tilts her head to expose the side of her neck while talking to you, or when she absent-mindedly touches her throat during a conversation, she is doing something extraordinary from an evolutionary standpoint. The neck houses the carotid artery, the jugular vein, and the windpipe, 3 of the most vulnerable structures in the human body. No living creature exposes its throat to a perceived threat. It simply does not happen in nature. A wolf rolls onto its back and shows its throat only to the alpha it trusts completely. And guess what? Human women do the exact same thing. Dr. David Given, an anthropologist who spent over 30 years studying courtship signals, documented that women in the advanced stages of romantic attachment expose their necks up to 4 times more frequently than women in neutral social settings. 4 times. That is not a coincidence. That is biology whispering what her pride might not let her say out loud. So if she sweeps her hair to one side while sitting across from you, or tilts her chin up slightly to elongate her throat when you make her laugh, she is not adjusting her hairstyle. She is telling you she feels safe. She is telling you she trusts you with the most vulnerable part of her body. And trust at that level, that is not friendship. That is love knocking on the door and wondering why you have not answered yet. Now this next one is subtle enough that it flies under everyone's radar, including hers. The wrists. The inside of the wrist is one of the thinnest skinned areas on the human body. The veins are visible, the pulse is palpable. In ancient cultures, showing the inner wrist was considered an act of surrender and intimacy. Fast forward to modern psychology, and researchers at the University of Manchester found that women who are emotionally bonded to someone tend to unconsciously present their wrists during interaction, turning their palms upward, gesturing with open hands, or resting their forearms on a table with the soft side facing up. Here is why this matters. When a woman is guarded, her wrists stay hidden, arms crossed, palms down, fists loosely closed. But when she is in love, her body quite literally opens up. She stops protecting her pulse points, because on a neurological level, her brain has categorized you as safe, not just safe, essential. And that reclassification does not happen casually. It happens when oxytocin and dopamine have been flooding her system consistently, which only occurs with sustained emotional attachment. So next time you are sitting across from a woman and her wrists are turned toward you, palms open, maybe even fidgeting with a bracelet or watch, understand that her nervous system just handed you a VIP pass. What you do with it is up to you. Alright, this one sounds almost ridiculous until you hear the science. Her feet. FBI behavioral analyst Joe Navarro. Yes, the actual FBI has stated publicly that the most honest part of the human body is the feet. Not the face, not the hands, the feet. Why? Because humans have spent thousands of years learning to control facial expressions and hand gestures, but almost nobody thinks about what their feet are doing. The feet are neurologically connected to the limbic system, the survival brain, and they respond to emotion before conscious thought even kicks in. When a woman is in love with you, her feet will point directly at you in group settings. Even if she is talking to someone else, her toes will be aimed your way. If she crosses her legs while sitting next to you, the top leg will angle toward your body. And if she is standing and one foot steps slightly in your direction while the other stays planted, that is her body literally trying to close the distance her words have not yet bridged. A study from the University of Portsmouth confirmed that foot direction is one of the most reliable nonverbal indicators of romantic interest, with an accuracy rate above 80%. 80%. Her mouth can tell you she is fine and just friends all day long. But her feet are terrible liars. Now we are getting into territory that most body language content completely ignores. And honestly, this is the one that made me rethink everything I thought I knew about female attraction signals. The stomach, the midsection, the abdominal area. As a woman, I can tell you the stomach is the body part most women feel the most self-conscious about. Studies from the Journal of Body Image consistently rank the midsection as the #1 area of physical insecurity for women across nearly every culture studied. Which means when a woman willingly draws attention to it in your presence, something significant has shifted in how she sees you. This shows up in ways most men would never think twice about. She stretches in front of you, arms overhead, shirt riding up slightly. She wears a fitted top instead of her usual oversized hoodie when she knows she is seeing you. She leans back in her chair and does not instinctively cover her midsection with a pillow or her arms. She lets you sit next to her on a couch without angling her body away to hide her profile. These are not fashion choices, these are trust choices. She is showing you the part of herself she guards most fiercely from the rest of the world, and the fact that she does it without thinking is what makes it so powerful, because conscious decisions can be strategic, but subconscious exposure is pure emotional truth. Remember when I said number 5 would be the one that rewires how you see a woman you already know? Here it is, open palms. This seems so mundane that your brain wants to skip right past it. But do not, because palm display is one of the oldest and most deeply embedded trust signals in human evolution. Anthropologists believe that the open palm gesture originated as a way to show others you were not holding a weapon. Over millions of years, that signal became hardwired into our social processing. An open palm means I have nothing to hide. I am not a threat. I am yours. Research from Alan Pease, one of the most widely cited body language experts in the world, found that people are significantly more persuaded by and attracted to individuals who speak with open palms. But here is the twist. Women in love do not just gesture with open palms. They find excuses to show you their palms directly. She holds her coffee cup with both hands, palms wrapped around it, facing you. She reaches across the table and her hand lands palm up, almost inviting you to take it. She talks with animated hand gestures that consistently flash the soft inner surface of her hands toward you. And here is what hit me hardest when I researched this. Most women have absolutely no idea they are doing it. I asked several of my friends to pay attention to their hand positioning around men they were attracted to versus men they were not. Every single one of them came back shocked. Their palms were open and visible only around the man they had feelings for. With everyone else, their hands stayed closed in their laps or tucked away. Your brain registers this signal whether you consciously notice it or not. It is why some conversations with a woman feel warm and inviting while others feel distant. Even though the words are almost identical, the difference is often just palm direction. That is it. That tiny detail changes the entire emotional temperature of an interaction. This is the one everyone thinks they know, but almost nobody understands correctly. Yes, playing with hair is a sign of attraction, but it is not the hair playing itself that matters. It is the specific type. There is a massive difference between nervous hair touching and affectionate hair presenting. When a woman is anxious or uncomfortable, she touches the ends of her hair, pulls it forward as a barrier or twirls it tightly. When a woman is in love, she does something entirely different. She runs her fingers through her hair from the root, lifts it off her neck, there is that neck exposure again, and lets it cascade. She tucks it behind her ear to reveal more of her face to you specifically. She flips it to one side, which is a pining behavior documented in virtually every primate species on Earth. This is grooming behavior, and in the animal kingdom, grooming directed at a specific individual is a pair bonding ritual. She is not fixing her hair, she is presenting herself. She is making herself more visible, more open, more accessible, specifically for you. And the scalp exposure that comes with running fingers through hair from the root releases pheromones from the sebaceous glands, which is a biochemical with parcumpetion, invitation that operates entirely below conscious awareness. I saved this one for last because it is the most powerful and the most unmistakable. When a woman is in love, her gaze follows a very specific pattern that researchers call the triangle gaze. Instead of looking at just your eyes, her gaze drifts down to your mouth and then back up to your eyes, forming an invisible triangle. This pattern repeats and it is involuntary. A study published in the Archives of Sexual Behavior tracked eye movement in subjects who were shown photos of people they were romantically attracted to versus people they felt neutral about. The triangle gaze pattern appeared almost exclusively with romantic targets. Not friends, not acquaintances, only the person who triggered a love response. But it goes beyond the pattern. Her pupils dilate. Echard Hess, a biopsychologist, proved decades ago that pupil dilation is directly linked to emotional arousal and affection. When a woman looks at someone she loves, her pupils expand by up to 45%. She cannot control it. She cannot suppress it. It is as involuntary as a heartbeat. So if you are talking to her in a dimly lit room, and her eyes look wider, softer, and almost glassy, and her gaze keeps drifting to your lips, she is not tired. She is not zoning out. She is in love. And her eyes just told you everything her pride, her fear, and her patience have been holding back. So here's the thing. Nobody tells you about these signals. They are not checkboxes. You do not need all 7 to confirm how she feels. Sometimes all it takes is one, the right one at the right moment with the right woman, and if you are paying attention, you will feel it shift the entire energy between you. But knowing what these signals mean is only half the equation, because recognition without action is just observation. And observation without courage is just spectating on your own life. The real question is not whether she is showing you these signals. The real question is, what are you going to do when she does? Now, if this breakdown changed the way you see the women around you, I need you to do one thing. Not for me, for the version of you that has been missing these signals for years and did not even know it. Hit that subscribe button so that version of you stops showing up. Let the version who understands replace him permanently. That is not a request, that is a favor you owe yourself. And speaking of signals you cannot afford to miss, there is another layer to this that goes even further than what I covered today. Because showing you body parts is one thing, but when she actually lets you touch certain areas without pulling away, that is a completely different level of confirmation. I broke that down in this next video right here. If she lets you touch her there, you've already won female psychology. If you found this video useful, that one is going to feel absolutely essential. Click it now before it disappears from your screen.